Standing it up. Release the brakes. %, 98%. Positive rate. Gear coming up.
We're here at Summit Fun. We've come to look at an airplane that's, well, pretty well out of our typical range. It's a jet airplane, but it's from our friends at Sonex. I'm Dan Johnson. I'm talking with Mark Scheibel. I'm doing your last name correctly?
Scheibel. It's
Scheibel.
Close.
Okay, Mark Scheibel. And Mark is going to tell us some stuff about the airplane, and it's the same kind of questions everybody else probably been pestering you with all week, because I don't know much.
Right.
Now, I know the Sonex. I've flown the YX and the motor glider, but nothing like this. So, first of all, what's powering this airplane?
This is the PBS TJ100 out of the Czech Republic. It's a 247-pound thrust engine. PBS is a pretty large company in the Czech Republic. They do steam turbines, they do APUs, they do UAV engines. So it's a great company with really good support. They're not dependent on sales of engines for us to stay around. So that's really good. The other really excellent part about the engine is that it's not model technology. It's fully FADEC, plug and play, starter generator. The throttle quadrant automates start up, shut down, cool down, everything.
Yeah, there's some stuff to know about a jet engine, and it is. Am I correct to say it's a jet engine?
It is. Yeah.
It's okay.
A turbojet.
A turbojet. Okay. I knew there was an official term in there.
Yeah.
So there's some things to know about that we don't know in the piston world.
Right.
But I'm also told by lots of guys who fly airline or jets that, they're actually a lot simpler to operate.
They are.
Is that because the computer's doing the work, or what?
Pretty much. The workload in this airplane is extremely low because of the FADEC system. It's a very simple airplane to fly. Building it and installing the engine is ultra simple because it plugs in. Just multi-pin connectors, a fuel line, a couple of bolts, and you're good to go.
Somehow I didn't. I'm in shock because I didn't expect you to say this is a simple installation. But,
yeah, extreme.
And is that okay? So building the airplane is one project. Is it different to build this airplane versus gasoline-powered Sonex that looks a lot like this?
It's very similar. It's all the same construction techniques and materials. A lot less parts, smaller airplane. We only sell this as a quick build kit, so that really cuts down the build time.
This particular one,
right?
the
Subsonics,
okay.
Yeah. Because knowing the demographic, we know we're going to want, we're going to have highly qualified pilots in most cases who don't want to do a lot of building. So per the NCAT audit, we're 48% and change for our amateur build kit. And it's a completed fuselage, completed wings, installed canopy and windshield. You're going to build the tail kit, you're going to build the control surfaces, and do the systems installation.
So about how many hours would that translate to for an average builder, someone with a little experience, but not a guru like yourself?
I'd hesitate to quote anything under a couple hundred hours. Remains to be seen because our first kit customers haven't completed yet.
You have sold some.
We've shipped the first 7 in the last 2 months.
You've already shipped the first 7.
Shipped.
All right, great. Yeah. Now, do you have to go through a lot of extra work to tell them how to handle the engine side of it? You said it's simple, but does that mean more for you to
that's one of the simplest part of building the airplane. So we eliminate all of the finicky stuff about installing an internal combustion engine with air cooled, doing baffling, tuning the engine. All of that stuff is eliminated. So it's probably one of the simplest parts of building the airplane.
Plug and play.
You got to plumb the fuel system and things like that, but it's standard, just like any other airplane in terms of fuel system, and very simple.
Okay, let's talk about a couple of things. Let's talk about performance first. What can somebody expect? Just the high level numbers for us.
Right. Well, let's start with top speeds. Top speed level going to be in the 280 to 290 mile an hour range. Cruise speeds are going to be 220 to 240 depending on the altitude and the conditions.
Some big numbers.
That's true airspeed in miles per hour.
Wow.
But the remarkable thing about the airplane is that it uses a Sonex airfoil. It stalls at 60 miles an hour.
Really?
We're over the fence at 90
wow.
on approach.
You've hit that magic holy grail of 4 times stall to max speed. That's,
exactly.
Wow, that's impressive.
Exactly.
So very cool. So
it's a reasonable airplane to transition to. So that was the whole goal of the airplane, is that it wouldn't be something you have to be Superman to fly.
So if you've already flown a Sonex, let's say you got 100 hours in a Sonex, you're at one with the machine by then.
Right.
What is the transition time to the SubSonic?
Well, at 100 hours, you might want to find a little bit more high performance time, you know, Mooney Bonanza, that kind of stuff. And then we also have the bonus jet training program. So Bob Carlton owns a 2-seat sailplane that has the same PBS TJ100 engine. And so you get to fly with him in that aircraft, get the engine training, having never flown turbines before. And typically, if you have enough high performance-y kind of time going in, and some Sonex time, at the end of that program you'll get your temporary LOA to fly your SubSonics. From there, you'll fly it for a little bit, you'll do a check ride, which is administered from the ground in a single-seat airplane, and then you'll have your permanent LOA.
Okay, and an LOA is a letter of authorization from FAA,
right.
which allows you to fly this
experimental
kind of
equivalent of a type rating.
Okay, cool. So pretty easy transition then. Now, you know, so if you'd already had some retractable, higher performance airplane time, but then you built a Sonex, or you flew some other similar
Or if you're higher time Sonex, it makes, like Jeremy, for instance, qualified, and he's a private pilot, and his majority of it is Sonex time. I don't believe he had any previous retract time at all. He went and did the bonus jet program and had his LOA at the end of it.
Wow. So pretty cool.
Yeah, and also if you're a glider pilot, you can come out of the bonus jet program with your LOA for the bonus jet as well.
Well, that's an interesting group of words there.
You know, glider time is really great for this airplane. It really prepares you for the energy management side of things.
Sure. Well, I learned a lot about that when I became a glider pilot too. Engine going off, no big deal. I already know how to fly an engine off. I started engine off and I ended engine off, so that was not bad. We got to talk about one more thing, and that is fuel consumption, because people think jets burn a lot of fuel, and I heard some lower numbers here. So put it in perspective.
We have 40 gallons usable.
Okay.
And we burn about 17 to 18 gallons an hour in a cruise configuration.
Okay.
Takeoff and climb, it's about 30 gallons now.
Yeah, more fuel used, less fuel used.
If you're down low, screwing around like we do most of the time, you've got about an hour, hour and a half. If you're really going somewhere and you're optimizing that economy cruise setup, you're going to be over 2 hours.
Okay.
So about comfortably over 200, or comfortably over 400 miles range with reserve.
Then you're going to taxi into some airport somewhere where every head in the place is going to follow you going, what on earth is that?
Yeah, absolutely. Very well.
Now I got to ask you a question that we try and stay away from too much about price, because these videos stay on a long time. So folks, look, we're going to give you a web address later. Please check with the factory to make sure what the price is then. But we have to talk about it because it's a jet airplane.
It is.
And a jet airplane is, I don't know, millions of dollars, but not from Sonex.
Not the SubSonics. It's certainly priced above our piston line, but the kit, the quick build kit with engine, is a $130,000 package.
A jet airplane for $130,000. That's pretty amazing. But let's compare that just to put it in perspective, because you fellows have some really good pricing on airplanes that people can get in, afford to buy, and fly. What kind of numbers are typical for a standard kit that you sell online?
The rest of our line, the kits are around $15,000 to $16,000, up to about $20,000 with our motor glider.
That's the airframe.
That's the airframe kit. Completed cost by the time you have it done in flying, it's going to start at about $31,000 and go up from there depending on the model.
Well, that's a remarkable, affordable number for many people. How many have you got out in the field? How many kits have you sold approximately?
Right.
And how many are flying, Mark?
Total fleet or SubSonics?
No, total fleet.
Okay,
total.
So we've got just had a milestone this year around Christmas time, 500 flying worldwide.
500 flying. Okay.
And that's in 16 years of business with Sonex, so a pretty good ratio. issue. We've got a lot of early scratch builders because the Sonex kit evolved quite a bit through the years.
Okay.
Started out with just plans, and then John and Jeremy came out with the kit parts that were the most difficult for the builder to make themselves.
That's how it got
Canopies,
started.
cowling, that sort of thing, and the kit evolved over the years. And we still have a lot of people that build the plans that want to do pure scratch building. So we've got about 2,000 sets of plans out, mostly Sonex, but that's across the entire fleet of designs.
Okay. Well, very fair. That's a lot of good information. There's so much more people are going to want to ask, not just about Subsonics, although I'm sure that's a real buzz. We noticed when you pulled the airplane into position here, Dave said, well, I see it over there, but we almost couldn't see it for the number of people surrounding the airplane. It's fascinating. You got Bob Carlton, it is, okay, doing an air show act here at the show, proving that it really flies. It's not just a mock-up here. And that's very exciting. Where do we get more information about Subsonics and all the other Sonex airplanes?
Go to www.sonexaircraft.com.
Sounds good. I'll have more about this airplane as I learn more about it, but there's plenty already there in the affordable aviation realm at buydanjohnson.com. Thanks a lot for joining Mark Schabel and myself here at Sun and Fun.
Thank you, Dan.
Great.